It don't make sense. How you wake up butt the F naked with two other men in the bed with Diddy and nothing happened?
Hello everyone. Until further notice, I will not be performing any gigs or anything like that for security reasons. My family and friends and everyone close to me just feels like there's a lot of potential threats and everybody's just telling me what he's allegedly capable of.
Lil Rod, you gotta say no to Diddy sometimes.
Oof. Diddy's days aren't getting any better. He tried to grab at some straws by filing a motion to get Lil Rod's explosive lawsuit against him dismissed, but that didn't work out. Why? Well, Lil Rod bulldozed Diddy's plans by sitting down for an exclusive interview, which, to be fair, no one saw coming. Rod's been silent ever since he filed the lawsuit. However, he had something in mind when he sat down for the interview because boy did he bury Diddy in the ground. And why wouldn't he? Diddy was planning to do the same to his former employee. Yeah, you heard that right. Diddy tried to K-word Lil Rod, and that's not all. The music producer also went into detail about what it was like working with Diddy in his life after the lawsuit. There's just one problem. Gene Deal did an interview of his own, and according to him, Lil Rod might not be a victim. Heck, he believes that Rod's hiding something. Just what is it, and which side of the story should fans believe? Lil Rod's or Gene's? It's time to untangle this mess. Now let's rewind a bit and get into the nitty-gritty of this drama. Y'all remember Lil Rod, right? Kind of hard to forget the dude who made headlines for filing a $30 million lawsuit against Diddy. The music producer threw the entire book at him, accusing him of the worst behavior imaginable. Yeah, well, Diddy's trying his best to still fight the allegations in court.
I think he was just trying to save face, man.
Diddy files motion to dismiss. That's right, besties. Diddy's lawyers filed a motion to dismiss the lawsuit altogether in the United States District Court in the Southern District of New York. The defendants? Sean Combs, Love Records Inc., and Combs Global. Now you're probably wondering, on what grounds? Well, the lawyers are claiming that Lil Rod's only after the money Diddy owes him for the work he did on the Love album Off the Grid. Diddy's lawyer Erica Wolf had this to say: Mr. Jones's lawsuit is pure fiction, a shameless attempt to create media hype and extract a quick settlement. There was no RICO conspiracy, and Mr. Jones was not threatened, groomed, assaulted, or trafficked. We look forward to proving in a court of law that all of Mr. Jones's claims are made up and must be dismissed. But let's get one thing straight though, everyone knows why Diddy filed this motion. He wants to stop the case from going to discovery because that's when he can't stop the real skeletons from coming out. And that's why he's bringing down the hammer on Lil Rod. Remember how Rod said that there was a RICO enterprise that failed to monitor, warn, or supervise Diddy while Jones suffered at his hands? And how celebrities like Cuba Gooding Jr. and big companies like the Universal Music Group were in on the entire thing? Yeah, well, according to Erica, there was no RICO conspiracy, and none of the stuff that Lil Rod claimed happened to him in the lawsuit is true. Diddy's lawyers are really going in hard on this one. They're calling Lil Rod's second amended complaint his third attempt to dress up a run-of-the-mill commercial disagreement as a salacious RICO conspiracy. Ouch! They even said the lawsuit contained nothing but countless tall tales, shameless celebrity name drops, and irrelevant images. But wait, it gets juicier. Diddy's lawyers also went after Brooklyn-based attorney Tyrone Blackburn, who represents Rod. In their eyes, he's someone who makes a living out of chasing wealthy celebrities. They even brought up his history of improperly filing cases in federal court to garner media attention, embarrass defendants with salacious allegations, and pressure defendants to settle quickly. Talk about throwing shade. As if that wasn't enough, Diddy's lawyers also dragged Jones through the dirt. They pointed out how Tyler and Jones were working together, claiming the music producer took a page out of his lawyer's book when he posted a video on X with Uncle Murda, a performer, and laughed about the lawsuit.
Stop playing. You heard? My boy want that check. You know, human harm. Just saying. Rapper vibes. Whoa! By Monday. Want that money by Monday, Diddy.
The motion said, like the essay, Jones's videotaped threats on social media are part of a calculated effort to promote his personal brand and profit from the exposure. Such tactics have no place in federal court. Yikes. So Diddy's lawyers are asking the court to throw out Jones's claims of mistreatment, as well as the claim of a pattern of racketeering activity, his liability for S advances from third parties, and the plaintiff's claim of suffering from emotional distress. As for the money Lil Rod claims that Diddy owes him, well, according to his lawyers, the statute of limitations for breaking the oral contract has long expired. Now, Lil Rod's attorney, Tyrone Blackburn, isn't taking this lying down. He told Deadline, "It is a weak attempt to fill their pockets before he is indicted, and they decide to haul ass just like his 5 previous lawyers did." Shots fired! Jones has to respond to the motion before September 9th, 2024. But one thing we can say with full confidence is that he won't be taking a back seat. The music producer is just about done with letting Diddy walk all over him. Heck, Lil Rod recently sat down for an interview, and you won't believe the tea he spilled. Apparently, Diddy tried to have him K-worded. Rod refused to go into the details of his experience because of the lawsuit, but he was willing to talk about his time working for Diddy and his life after filing the lawsuit. And boy, did he have a lot to say. For starters, you know how everyone calls Diddy a music mogul, a magician who launched the careers of many before ending them? Yeah, well, turns out that the so-called music mogul may not have known his stuff after all. Rod said, his attitude is like 0 to 100 in seconds. Sometimes asking for something, and he doesn't even know what he's asking for. He'd be like, yo, turn those little trinkles up. I would look at him like, okay, the trinkles, let's see. I'd just constantly keep eye contact, and I can see when I'm turning up something if it's right. I'd get that nod. I started to develop his ear too. He liked that I understand music theory and professional terms. I had to understand what he's trying to say and translate that. That's how we became close. He's not a musician. He's more like an executive. He likes options. Rod also went into detail about the first time he felt uncomfortable around Diddy. He was flown with Young Miami to Miami around Thanksgiving. Rod got to dine with other employees, but he felt uncomfortable, so he went to the studio. And guess what? Diddy came in with Young Miami about 10 minutes later, and that's when everything started going wrong. According to Rod, he was asking me to do something I've never done before. It was awkward. He was trying to get me to do some illegal substances. I don't want to judge anybody, but that's at the top of my list of things I'm afraid to do. When asked to describe Diddy, Rod didn't hold back. He said, he's a monster. He'll do whatever is necessary to get exactly what he wants. He doesn't take no for an answer. He told me himself, I'll smack my mama. Anybody who can say that, even jokingly, is a monster. He's nothing to be played with. For a person whose brand is Love Records and changed their name to Love and named their kid Love, he doesn't show love. He's just marketing. But that's not the part of the interview that's making headlines. Rod was asked what he was up to these days, and he kind of stopped talking. He said that he couldn't reveal his location for obvious reasons. Why? Is he scared? Well, yes. Apparently, there had been too many people trying to figure out where he was. Things got so bad that Rod had to move locations. Even his mom didn't know where he was, and worst of all, he's been living like this for a year. Rod had to take extra measures like hiring security, which isn't easy since small-time musicians like him don't get paid much. But why did he feel the need to take such drastic measures? Well, it's obvious, isn't it? Rod received threats from Diddy. I mean, what else did we expect from the guy who's been rumored to have a long list of bodies? Rod was transparent about his concerns, saying, Diddy has a lot of people on his payroll in a lot of different positions. He's very connected. It's made me nervous traveling, going to hotels. I ask if there's any way to remove my name. The last time I landed in LA, I knew he had connections there. I got off the plane worried. I masked my face and changed my outfits, trying to disguise myself. For sure, I was uncomfortable, paranoid, afraid, but I told myself, you can't keep living like this. I've got 3 therapists. If you thought that was bad, wait till you hear about how Rod's career suffered. He said, it's been very, very tough because of this lawsuit. Most people don't want to come near working with me for whatever reasons, whether they've been in partnership with Puff or they want to just sit back and see what happens. He's a gatekeeper in the music industry. In this industry, to be successful, you have to have worked with someone like him or Jay-Z, Dr. Dre, Kanye, or 50 Cent. So many people I've worked with have had business deals with him. I reached out to try to get a deal for my album and people don't want to get involved. So yeah, Rod got blackballed and the result? Well, he's struggling to make ends meet. To put it straight, he's broke. Heck, he even had his phone turned off for like 24 hours. Safe to say, anyone who thinks that Rod went after Diddy to get that bag doesn't know the other side of the story. However, you might want to hear Gene Deal's version of events as well. The former bodyguard has managed to stir up controversy online with his words. How's that? Well, he doesn't exactly think that Lil Rod was a victim. In fact, he thinks that Lil Rod was actually embarrassed to admit his relationship with Diddy.
I think Lil Rod was trying to save face on certain things, that he had somewhat of a relationship or he was doing some things with Diddy that he didn't want to really come out in that fashion.
Gene also went on to call BS on some of Lil Rod's other claims as well, particularly about how he mistreated him.
Alleges that, Diddy, he would grope his genitals and he would grope his anus.
My man, I didn't understand that one right now, because his anus is your asshole. His genitals is his nut. So I guess he had to be naked when Puff was doing that. Where was he at? What was he doing? Because he said that they never had sex. If you read it in the thing, they never had sex. He made claims that they never had sex, but how would he grope your anus? Your asshole? How would he play with your genitals?
Yeah, it don't make sense. I mean,
It don't make sense.
I mean, it don't make sense. So if stuff didn't go down like the way Lil Rod said in the lawsuit, then how did it go down? Well, Gene thinks that the only way Diddy was able to get that far was if the two already had something going on.
The lawyer would say, what do you mean? He would say, my butt cheeks. There's a such thing called butt cheeks. Your two cheeks. He said anus. The anus is the asshole. How did he get that far? Lil Rod, you gotta say no to Diddy sometime. No, that shit ain't funny, man.
Mind you, Gene's been by Diddy's side for years, so when he says that it's impossible for Lil Rod to wake up in a bed with Diddy and two other men without anything happening, you might want to hear him out.
Because there's no way that he gonna wake up and his anus is hurting and his genitals is all over the place and he's in the bed after being drunk or drugged and saying nothing happened. And you think that Diddy gonna be in the bed with 3 other men and nothing happened? It doesn't sound logical.
And so, Gene strongly believes that something went down between Lil Rod and Diddy. It's just that Lil Rod doesn't want that information getting out. And while Gene's comments did ignite a debate on social media, you see, if Lil Rod is lying about something in the lawsuit, it brings the credibility of his entire lawsuit into question. Some fans even jumped on the same bandwagon as Diddy's lawyers. One person commented, "It's about money. He didn't get paid, so he's telling now." However, before folks jump to any conclusions, fans might want to view Gene's interview where he sort of supported some of Lil Rod's claims, like the part about Diddy putting his hands on him.
right, I got you. But looking at this lawsuit, right, Lil Rod, he alleges that, Diddy, he'll put his hands on him. But, when he'll put his hands on him, he'll disguise it as horseplay. But he felt like Diddy was trying to groom him, in a sense.
Well, with the horseplay situation, I used to see him do that with certain women. You understand? When he was mad, upset, or he was too old for this, but he would do that play fighting shit. You understand? So I can imagine him play fighting with Lil Rod.
He said that the horseplay Lil Rod brought up was actually Diddy's way of telling him that he could hurt Rod anytime he wanted.
So the horseplay was his way of grooming you, in a sense.
Well, that grooming, that's some new shit. You know what I'm saying? We didn't call that, we didn't call it grooming back then. That his horseplay was a way of letting you know I could really hurt you if I wanted to. So that kid is feeling, yo, listen here. In his mind, if you read the documents, in his mind, he was so scared that when he went to other people in the camp and said, why did he treat me? Why did he doing this and doing that? They said, oh, he just playing with you because he love you. He like you. He was trying to instill that fear in you that he had in you.
Gene also said that he believed Lil Rod's claims about Cuba Gooding Jr. mistreating him, which shuts down the narrative about Rod playing the victim card to secure some money for himself.
So you seeing on pictures, do you believe his claims?
Yeah, I believe his claims. Somebody put something in Cuba Gooding Jr. ear that this was fresh meat, or see can you break him, or see can you do something? Because don't no other man be that close to no other man, for that reason. Come on, bro. That's crazy.
And so, what does this mean for Lil Rod's claims about Diddy threatening him? Well, it definitely means that there's truth to them. I mean, we are talking about the man who got exposed for violently mistreating his girlfriend on mainstream media when he claimed innocence. As for fans, well, they think Lil Rod is definitely being threatened because, let's be real, this is Diddy we're talking about. Heck, some of them think that the authorities need to take the matter more seriously. One person commented, well, if Diddy would just get picked up by the feds already, then Lil Rod wouldn't have to move 3 states away in hiding. As for Gene Deal's side of the story, well, some fans think that there's truth to his words, but it doesn't necessarily cancel out Lil Rod's suffering. One person wrote, I agree with Gene. Lil Rod is not being 100%. Rod don't want to tell the full truth because he's embarrassed and doesn't want to take accountability for some of the things that happened. Oh, and Shapuff Diddy brother Love is a monster and needs to be exiled. But what do you think of the situation? Do you think Lil Rod is really telling the truth? Did Diddy try to K-word him? And if so, then what do Gene Deal's words really imply? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more juicy gossip. Until next time, stay fabulous and keep sipping that tea.